God, really, I really do. It's horrible. But all it does, Frank, is it stirs up racial animus and racial divide because all people see, white people don't know how I feel about Black Lives Matter. They assume because I'm black that I believe in Black and support Black Lives Matter. That's just a fact. I mean, it's like, well, he's black. He must support Black Lives Matter because he's black, and it's just like this white lady here in Chicago, up on a beach in Winnetka, which is upper income, a white area. This foreign chick, she's an immigrant. She started screaming at these black kids that you don't belong on this beach, and they said, why? And she said, because you're black. So they charged her. They charged her foreign ass, her immigrant ass, with a hate crime. These immigrants come over here, and I tell black people this all the time. It's going to be in my damn book about how we needed to have stopped. See, Ted Kennedy launched an Immigration Act in 1965 to dilute black progress in this country. Foreigners who come to America think they're better than black Americans. In fact, the first word most of them learn is nigger. I had a Mexican yesterday call me that word, and I swear to God, I screamed back at him. I said, no, I'm a black American, but you still a Mexican. And this is what happened, Frank. I'm driving down the street. He's jaywalking. He tries to get me to stop and let him pass in front of my. This ain't Mexico. You know what? One of the things when we go to Tijuana, the thing about going to Tijuana was you were always trying to avoid pedestrians. They'd walk in front of your car like they didn't care about their lives. And you'd say, well, don't they know these cars would kill them? They just walk out in traffic. You see that same craziness in all of these Democrat cities, except for LA and San Diego is a Republican town. You jaywalk in San Diego, you're going to get a jaywalking ticket. You jaywalk in LA, you can get a jaywalking ticket. They believe in issuing jaywalking tickets. Here in Chicago, people just walk out in front of your car, man, and they don't look. And they think because they don't look, you won't hit them. Hey, man, as always, me and you and me, together. Hang in there, Frank. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye. Hey, look, we're going to play Camilla Harris. And I know one thing. It's Camilla Harris in her glory. she makes this mistake. And I know she wish she could take it back, but it's a little too late, Kamala. Here we go. Let's play it. Well, how come you didn't do it when he was in office? How come Joe didn't provide this investment in minority businesses when he was in office and we had a half black president? Hello. See, all these promises to minorities that never get fulfilled. They've been talking about education ever since the Kennedy administration. You know how I know? Because when my parents got back from voting for John F. Kennedy, even though they liked Dick Nixon, they voted for John F. Kennedy because he was going to be different. He was a different kind of white man. He was young. He was virile. He was the new guy. No, it was the same old American BS. I'll give Kennedy credit for a lot. He kept us out of Vietnam. He did not want to address civil rights. That was not his thing. He wanted to contain the Negro. I got so much stuff, man. I got so much stuff that I got to write that it's just it's killing me. But I'm going to get it out, and I'm going to stop procrastinating and start working on dealing with getting this book out. Now, a friend of mine, had me cut a tape the other day, and this is what it is. It's Ezekiel 25:17. Upon thee. Man, for those of you who recognize that, that's me. It's not Samuel Jackson. That's Charles Butler talking about Ezekiel 25:17. And I can tell you, election day, that's how I feel. Election night, that's how I feel. If Joe Biden wins, we will have to erect our vengeance upon some people, because I just don't think he'll win. I just don't. He doesn't think he'll win. This is a guy who turned around and he ran back to Michigan because he had such a poor showing. Yeah, he did. Now, when I talk about this misinformation, this misdirection by Democrats, they're still trying to sell the narrative that Donald Trump killed 190,000 Americans with the coronavirus. Interesting. Donald Trump killed 190,000 Americans with the coronavirus. Think about that for a minute. Is that true? They keep saying that. And I hear intelligent people repeating that over and over and over again. And I go, wait a minute. How did Donald Trump kill these people? I said, I've never heard anybody accuse Woodrow Wilson of killing Americans during the 1918 pandemic when 675,000 Americans died. Hello, 675,000 Americans died, and not one person accused Woodrow Wilson of killing those people, because it's a lie. It's not true. Neither did Donald Trump. In fact, when you look at the facts, and we're looking at facts here, Donald Trump, even though I guess it was June 29th when he, a little before June 25th, January 25th or January 29th, when he found out that this pandemic was going to be serious. But you have to remember this. He may have told Woodward that, but you have to remember this. In February, Pelosi was marching her behind down to Chinatown, saying there is no pandemic. The pandemic's not serious. It's nothing serious. It's not going to be any more serious than any other flu season. Fauci, that little squirrel, was saying the same thing. Oh, it's not going to be that serious. Go back and look. Don't take my word for it. But that is the Democrat and the deep state's misdirection and misinformation. It's part of the cabal. And if you don't think that there's a cabal at work here, and if you don't think that the American people, some American people are trusting, I have a friend who was so trusting of the FBI. He said to me, and I mean, we fell out about this. He said to me with his dumb ass that the FBI would never do anything wrong. I know those guys at the FBI, they're above reproach. They would never do anything dishonest. And bullshit. Look at the Black Panther Party, Operation Zero. Let's see, Operation Zorro. It was the operation against King by the FBI. What was the other one? What was it? Intel Pro. You know, an operation of the FBI against black militants and Dr. King. And this guy's trying to tell me that the FBI is is he stupid? See, they count on old black people and young black people who are so stupid that they can't connect the dots. Here's a guy who's lived through the 50s as a college student, in the 60s as a professional, 70s. He experienced discrimination as a naval officer. And here's a guy who still can't connect the damn dots. And I say this about most things. People have biases. We all have biases. The question becomes whether or not we act on those biases to harm others. Personally, I have biases. I have plenty of biases. But I would never act on those biases to hurt someone else, whether they were foreigners, immigrants, white, black, brown, yellow. I just don't. It's just not my DNA to go out and hurt people, discriminate against people, do the wrong thing to people. In fact, I've been hurt because I wouldn't do those things. It's in some people's DNA just to create havoc, just to create discord. I don't believe in that. And most people don't. That's why we have such a great country. We have some great individuals, some great human beings. And I tell you, each and every day, like this morning, I was out riding my bike, ran into a man and a woman who were just two. He was out walking his dog, he and his lady, just fantastic people. Total straight. Just love them. Just, tremendous people. And we bonded, bam, just talking, and we, similar beliefs. That's America. That's Americana. And I run into people who I don't have similar beliefs, and that's okay too. I don't have a problem with that. So speaking of someone don't have similar beliefs to, but Jeb Johnson is not one of my favorite people for a number of reasons. He's a liar. He's a guy who tried to he did put homosexuals in the military and transgenders. We turned all that shit around. Thank God. He's talking about Trump being disingenuous about saying that he did not want to panic the American people over the coronavirus. Okay, let's do it. That's not, that's not true. And I'll tell you why. When Trump talked about caravans coming to the border, look it up. We had caravans crashing the border. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Jeb Johnson's word for it. Don't take Morning Joe or Fox and Friends. Look it up your doggone self and see, and then there were caravans coming up from Honduras, Guatemala, crashing our border. What did Trump say? Hey, Mexico, if you let them come through your country, we're cutting off the aid. What happened? The caravan stopped. They couldn't get through Mexico. Hey, none of this is rocket science. See, Mexico has some of the most strict immigration laws in the world. So why don't these people stop there? They could get good jobs because, a lot of American companies have moved to Mexico. So they can get good jobs. So check this out. Okay. So when Trump told Mexico, cut off your borders, don't let these people through, or there'll be a price to pay, guess what? They did. And guess what? We don't have these caravans of thousands of people coming to America. We're coming. You're going to take us because we're coming. These people are so bold. It's just like this Mexican Independence Day. Instead of these people going down getting a parade permit, just go get a parade permit if you want to have a Mexican Independence Day parade. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Instead, they organize on these social media and drive up and down the street waving these huge Mexican flags, creating traffic blocks, running traffic lights, just creating havoc and discord. Again, breaking the law without any consequence. Without any consequence, okay? So, it needs to stop. That's my only point. It needs to stop. Yeah, you got to stop. There has to be, people have to obey the law. Then he says, well, President Trump, he's still fear-mongering that in that Cory Booker, he's going to bring Cory Booker on to destroy your suburbs. Let me just say this about that. Bringing poor-ass, ghetto-ass, ignorant-ass people into your neighborhood is not good for your neighborhood. Bring them into your neighborhood, Jeb Johnson. Bring them because I find this with these poor, ignorant people. I don't care if they're black, white, whatever. Your kid has started talking about sex. Your kid has started talking about drugs. Your kid has started talking about all kinds of things that they don't need to be involved in because that's what's happening in their home. They're seeing 2 and 3 different men come out of their mama's bedroom every week. Hello, Jeb Johnson. Oh, they're going to, you damn right they're going to destroy your neighborhoods. I don't believe in it. Under Jeb Johnson and the Biden administration, they gave $7,000 a month vouchers to poor-ass people to live in wealthy upscale apartments, a condo. How come I can't get one of those? Hello? Something's wrong with that. But let the Biden administration and the Jeb Johnsons of the world tell you something's wrong with me because, I worked hard. I went to college. I struggle. I do the right thing. I don't take drugs. I don't break the law, pay taxes. But guess what? I'm wrong. I'm a bad person. I'm the enemy. I'm the kind of black that makes black people put them in the situation they're in because I demand excellence. And there's nothing wrong with it. Don't tell me about no damn Ebonics. If it's one thing I can't stand is a capitulation to subservient BS. We always ascribe for excellence. What if black football players ascribe to being the lowest yardage per catch, the lowest yardage per run? That's what they ask us to do in academics. Oh, we're gonna capitulate and say that the lowest average is, it's low because the guys aren't blocking for you. You're not catching because the quarterback's not throwing to you, and he's not throwing good balls when he does. Okay, change that. Hey man, it's a trip, but my boy tickles me. He said that Cory Booker is going to create panic in the suburbs. You damn right. You put those poor ass people in your community like they did after Katrina, right? These white people embraced these black people coming to their community, and they were like roaches. Everything that wasn't locked down, those Negroes stole from the 9th Ward in Louisiana, because that's what they're used to. These are people from the ghetto. I'm talking about hardcore ghettos. I don't know if you've ever been to the 9th Ward in New Orleans, but it is not a place you want to be, especially at night, if you black. If you white, ain't nobody mess with you. If you black, it's a war zone. You hear me? It's, as we like to say, it's on, okay? You don't want to get caught in the 9th Ward. I don't know what the 9th Ward looks like now because I haven't been in New Orleans in a long time. But I want to play this particular clip by Jeb before we get off. And he talks about Trump invoking the law on immigration. That's President Trump from this morning with Fox and Friends. Let's forward ahead to Jeb. Okay. Okay, that's my man talking about there's going to be a vaccine. Trump said there's going to be a vaccine by the end of, I think, the next month or something like that. He was talking. But anyway, this is where Jeb Johnson, who used to be head of HHS, said that the administration had invoked a law that allowed for no asylum seekers to come to the border. So Jeb says, well, because they can't come to the border and be apprehended and plead their case, they're trying other ways to get in the country. Like, that's okay. I mean, so we're going to let them come to the border. And I mean, it's just stupid. That's what you get when you get Democrats in office. That's what you get when you get Democrat policies. They're backwards. They're just backwards. So we got these lawbreakers who are trying to jump to the line and claim asylum when they're really coming here to work. It's called economic migration. Economic migration. Poor laborers coming to economic opportunities where they can replace those at the lower end of the rung, i.e., poor whites, poor blacks, poor everybody, poor Americans. And that's what happened over the last 20 years, 30 years. This started back in the 80s, baby. And it's gotten worse. How do you go from being 3% of the population to being, 18% of the population in terms of Latino? Illegal immigration. And it needs to be dealt with. Why are these people voting? Some people, their kids are born here, so they're American. We need to change that. We need to change how you become a citizen in America. And it shouldn't be because you're born here. That pertained to Black people and African slaves, because President Johnson said that these people of African descent were not citizens. He's a Southerner, a Democrat. Johnson, Democrat. Just like President LBJ, Democrat, racist, ardent, stringent oppressor of Black people. And I document that very well in my upcoming book. So when we look at the southern border real quick, we got a couple of minutes here. 8,000 migrant children have been turned around. 7,000 migrant families have been turned around. 150,000 single adults have been turned around. And no humanitarian protections have been extended to asylum seekers. That protection has been suspended. Now, just think about this. Can people from the Chicago South and West Side go to Mexico and ask for asylum and get a nice house, get a nice job, get settled in a nice neighborhood? The answer is hell no. Hell no. Not no. Hell no. Oh, they're scared from the guns. They're scared of the gangs. They're scared of the violence. I think people in Chicago, given all the publicity, would certainly qualify for, running from gangs and gang violence. That's what the Mexicans claim. That's what the Hondurans claim. That's what the Guatemalans claim. Hello. We need to preserve our country for Americans first. And I don't care if it's prison, what they call it, prison reform. I'm not for criminal justice reform. Not for it. Not a fan of it at all. I think that people who haven't had a first chance should be given a first chance. That's what I think. The hell with Kanye West, the hell with Kim West, whatever her name is. These people walk around with their bodyguards and talk about how safe and everything is. Well, it's not that damn safe. And you better have your weapon, and you better have it on. And you should know how to use it. Oops, did I say all those things? I did, really quick. So look, we're going to get ready to segue out of here. It's about that time. And I want to thank you for tuning in, both out there on YouTube as well as on Red State. So, uno, dos, tres, Quachos.